Alright, guys, I have another battle here with Gandy, or Skep, or whatever you really want to call him, but this time we're doing a UU match, Underused, and we've battled a few times in the past, so we're kind of getting familiar with each other's playstyles, for now, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Underused is actually a format I've actually been playing more RU and OU recently, so let's go ahead and get into UU and see what I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and lead with Aerodactyl, which is my Mega, but he leads with a Pokemon that I didn't want him to lead with, which is his Rhyperior. So obviously this isn't a strong opening matchup for me, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out, expecting a, Stone Edge or something. Maybe he's going to try to set up. I don't know, I feel pretty confident Mew can come in here, though, but he makes a pretty excellent over-prediction. Like, seriously, just completely over-predicted there, and predicted my Mew to come in, and ended up being excellent for him, and yeah, there's not much to say about that. I decided to, I was mulling over going for the Stealth Rocks here. Instead, I decided to pretty much sack my Mew to set up the Will-O-Wisp, kind of hoping for a, Mega Horn miss, but didn't end up getting it. Either way, that was a pretty devastating first couple of turns for me, yeah, that was a pretty excellent prediction on his part that worked out for him. So I did get this thing burned, however, so that's going to make it a little bit harder for him to do anything with it later, as I'm just going to go into my Empoleon. I just go for a Hydro Pump. Now, this is a Specs Empoleon set, so very offensive, and as you can see, I just completely one-shot the Azelf with Hydro Pump, which is pretty darn nice. Then he's going to go out into his Electivire, which I do not want to stay in against. So I do switch out, and I decide to go out into my Panguro, which is a Pokemon I'm bringing along. It is Assault Vest, so it's probably not going to really help me against this thing, and he decides just to do this. So, yeah, definitely, a ballsy play. Just going straight for his Z-move, Giga Volt Havoc, which is going to be able to take out my Panguro. It is obviously super strong coming from an Electivire who has a ton of attack, and yeah, I don't know what it would be boosted. Maybe a Wild Charge? I don't know. Is Wild Charge still Electivire's best electric move? I don't remember. Either way, he's going to go into Aerodactyl again, and yeah, this time I will Mega Evolve. I do have Earthquake, and he does not want to get EQ. Now, he goes into Rhyperior here, and I'm like, oh crap, this thing is probably weakness policy, because I brought a weakness policy one against him, earlier, but it actually ends up not being weakness policy, so that was a slight surprise, but good for me. Unfortunately, due to Solid Rock and the fact that Earthquake is not stabbed on Aerodactyl, it's still not going to do great damage. In fact, it does less than half, so there you go. I still have to deal with this Rhyperior. Now, it is burned, so I'm not really sure how much damage it can actually do to me, so I'm just going to stay in and try to go for another Earthquake, and he ends up going for the Ice Punch. I'm not sure why he's not going for a Rock move. I mean, he almost certainly has a Rock move on Rhyperior. Why would you not? I guess he just wanted to, he's probably Stone Edge, so I guess he just wanted to confirm a hit on me, but still, I probably should have went for a Stone Edge, to be honest. I could have done a ton of damage to Aerodactyl, much more than that Ice Punch. Keep in mind that Aerodactyl doesn't have the greatest defenses, and that's how much, actually, it did a lot with that Ice Punch, despite the fact that it's burned, so that shows you the overwhelming power of Rhyperior, so good news for me, I decided to go for the Roost. It could have backfired if he decided to Earthquake. Thankfully, he did not predict that, so I'm able to get a little bit of HP back and then kill the Rhyperior. So, looking pretty nice. Aerodactyl gets some HP back as he just goes into Decidueye. Now, I do have the Wing Attack, so I'm just going to go for that. Actually, I'm not really sure why I don't run Aero Ace, but I'm pretty sure Aerodactyl gets that. Probably need to change that, but whatever. So, it doesn't really matter unless he has, like, accuracy down moves or whatever. Anyway, he goes for a Spirit Shackle. It just lock me in, but it doesn't quite kill me, thankfully. And Decidueyes typically carry Sucker Punch, so I'm actually predicting a Sucker Punch here. But he ends up just going for another Spirit Shackle, so I'm not sure if he he probably either predicted the Roost, which is a pretty damn good prediction, or he just doesn't carry it. At this point, though, it looks like he's doing a little bit more damage than I can heal with Roost. I had 10 HP last turn, now I have 3, so I'm kind of forced just to try to go for another Wing Attack, and he doesn't Sucker Punch. So, he either thought I was going to Roost again, or he just doesn't carry Sucker Punch, which is kind of an odd move for a Decidueye. But yeah, that's pretty cool, though, because I'm able to kill it, and he's going to go into Golisopod here now. I am at a point that he can kill me with First Impression, so I decided just to switch out into Empoleon, which should resist that, and Not to mention, it would resist his other water stab moves if he decided to go for that. So I decided to keep Aerodactyl because it is fast, and I can use it to maybe peck off something else. Or if I really need to, I could try to use it for Death Fodder. So he's going to go into Serena now as I just go for another Specs Hydro Pump, and I end up doing actually, well, about half to the Serena, which is still pretty nice, because obviously it is resisted. So, yeah, Specs and Polian doing some work. So, gonna go out into my Chandelure, which is a Scarf set, which, you know, that's kind of a standard for Chandelure. He's gonna go for a Trap Kick to lower my attack, and that's really pointless because I don't really need attack. And I'm just gonna go for a Shadow Ball here instead of, you know, a straight out Flamethrower, because it's gonna hit, you know, obviously I have 100% accuracy. Sorry, not Flamethrower, I have Fire Blast on this. I wanted the accuracy of Shadow Ball. I didn't think I really needed the extra damage against the Serena. And yeah, it's going to trigger that Golisopon's emergency exit, and go right back into Serena. And that's pretty amazing for me because I can just do this. Can outspeed and probably kill it. This is not a Assault Vest Serena, so I don't have to worry about that, judging by how much my Hydro Pump did earlier. So in comes Golisopod again. Now, this was kind of a mistake for him. Now, he still has Electivire in the back, and I don't think I can actually kill the Electivire with Shadow Ball. Instead, he decides to go into Golisopod. We already know that my Shadow Ball can do more than half of that Golisopod, so that's not a very good move at all. He could have kept that Golisopod, and at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay and go for the Shadow Ball, just try to get damage on this thing. I know I can, if I can get enough damage on it, I can definitely kill with Aerodactyl, so that's what I'm going to do. As you can see, he does survive a Shadow Ball on this thing, and that's what he should have done. In fact, he probably should have just sacked Serena and went into this thing, to be honest. You know, instead of going out into Golisopod at all, which just kind of ended up getting him wrecked. And yeah, now his last Pokemon is Electivire, and yeah, just gonna go into Aerodactyl to finish it off. So after you know, being down early, really, I was able to, you know, claw my way back into it. So kind of happy about how I was able to play that in the back end of this battle. So good game there, Skep. And today's question of the day is, what is your favorite sports team? I know it's not a Pokemon-related question. In fact, looking at my older videos, I used to ask non-Pokemon-related questions all the time. And I started just asking Pokemon-related questions when I started posting videos a little bit less, you know, less than less than once a day, which I'm up to 3 a week now, I think. So there you go. But you know, let's go into some non-Pokemon questions because honestly, I'm starting to run out of ideas when it comes to Pokemon. As for me, most of you guys probably know, especially if you've been following to Gen 4, I'm a massive Miami Dolphins fan. You know, with, you know, football and all that. Oh, I guess, you know, NFL with gridiron football, not to be confused with association football, Fulham. But yeah, I guess you guys know Fulham's favorite team too. But yeah, leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.